When considering the security configurations to enable the use of Oracle AI Agent Studio, the usual first step of considering data security and segregation of duties applies, in addition to some universal configuration across product areas and data. Before going into the detailed configurations, let's consider what the main areas are. The first section of this video will discuss the need to configure a profile option to ensure that the Security Console session that will be used to configure access to Oracle AI Agent Studio is ready to handle permission groups. Then, it will emphasize the continued use of the standard scheduled processes to synchronize security configurations into the application. We'll then divide the configurations into three broad categories. First, we'll consider whether the user using Oracle AI Agent Studio will be the administrator and creator of AI agents, which is the primary focus of this course. If so, then the roles and privileges will be configured to allow the user to develop, promote, deploy, and launch the AI agents for validation and verification, for example. If the user is an end user of the AI agent instead, then a fewer number of roles will need to be configured. These are shown as points 2 and 3 here. In the fourth item here, the next set of configurations will be along the lines of data security and segregation of duty. That is to answer the questions asked here. Which pillar should the user have access to? Just their functional area, like HCM, or all the pillars? To clarify, what is separated by pillars would be primarily the AI agent templates that are available for the user to instantiate to start developing their extended or custom AI agents in addition to the out-of-the-box AI agents. We'll discuss the HCM access in the most detail, followed by roles required for SCM and procurement as the two additional examples. We'll also consider when the user requires super user level access, as in being able to see all templates from all pillars. Please continue into the full discussion next.
So before we start, there is a prereq. Once you get 25C, we do need to use a profile option to enable certain security features. Right? The profile option name is included here. And what it will do is when you now go back into Security Console, you have an option to enable permission groups. That's the new checkbox you will see. So absolutely, if you're at a client side and you're not able to see that on a Security Console, which means I'm missing the profile option. We don't want to enable that across all the fleet because we want customers to try it out, and on broad daylight, they should figure out if they want to uptake the feature. So that's why it's delivered as a profile option. Okay. Next thing, you just got an upgrade. The second item here is well known to you all. Every single time you get an upgrade, or every week, you must be running import user and role application security data. That is a job the customer is already scheduled. So that's not new. On the safer side, we would like you to run the first job, import resource application security data. So we as an Oracle, if we are seeding new artifact, if we're seeding 10 new things in Security Console, chances are you're not going to be able to use that unless you run this process. It will actually cache that and you can start using those new artifacts in the Security Console. So please run these jobs. The first job, you don't need to schedule it. If you run it once after the upgrade, done. The second job, if you're already live, oftentimes the customer already, they have this job scheduled every week, every 14 days, whatever the frequency is, okay? So before we get into security, those are the two prereqs. I need a profile option and I need to run two TSS jobs. Now let's talk about pillar-specific admin role. So we'll start with HCM and I may take supply chain as an example and then we'll skip other. So keep it simple. We believe there are two types of use cases. You may already have a user and they happen to have HCM, Human Capital Management Administrator role, that is a path, or you may have other set of users, they don't have HCM Administrator role. So if you already have that role assigned to you in Security Console, you can create a custom role. This is the easiest way to isolate the changes you're doing right now and enable the permission groups. I'll show you the screenshot in a minute. And then you can either, easier way is like just grant this custom security role to the end user. So enable the permission groups, and on the there's a duty role called Gen AI HCM admin duty role. That is the one that you will tie to that custom role on the left hand side. Now, if you don't have the HCM administrator role, then you need one additional duty. the HCM Intelligent Agent Management duty. This is a new duty. This duty is already included in the administrator role. So if you're working with users who don't have HCM admin, or there are concerns that I don't want to make people who are designing agents administrator for HCM because they get access to 10 other tasks, fine. You can give them granular control. Just got to add one more duty to it. Easy. So if I do this right-hand side step, create a custom role. Let's just go through this quickly. Sorry. So I'm creating a custom role called COE AI Agent Admin for HCM. And on the first page, first trend stop, enable this checkbox is enable permission groups. You do need to click twice. So once you click here, it gives a pop-up, gives a role name, and you'll click enable permission groups. What is a permission group? Permission group is very similar to the concept we are using already in like duty roles. What action I can do on which artifact? Can I update deep link? Can I correct business object? That's a permission group, right? Let me show you the screenshot. That'll be a lot better. Okay. So on the role hierarchy, now with the checkbox enabled, I see two different tabs. The tab that I'm used to so far before 25C is roles and privileges. That's the tab you all have been using till now. Fair enough? The new tab that you will see next to is that roles and permission groups. So again, like sometimes I'm creating a custom role, Oracle has this document, and I don't see the second tab. We know the answer. I need to enable the profile option. And for that custom role, I need to enable the permission group. So tab will be visible with me. Okay. All right. So using the roles and privileges, I will assign this duty role. On the next tab, roles and permission groups, you can assign the Gen AI HCM administrator duty, and you are done. All right. So with that being said, now if you sign back in, sign out, clear cache, go take a coffee, come back in 2 minutes, HCM access should be available in Agent Studio. If this user try to access supply chain and CX and procurement agents, they will not have access to it. Okay. All right. This is just a screenshot showing that this user can only access HCM family and everything that is family that says common. So all the common tools plus the pillar specific is what this user can access. And just a validation that supply chain, CX, other product pillar families, you'll not have access to it. You will not have access to run the agent either. You can design the agent, you can build the agents all day long. If you by mistake hit the run button, it should give you an error. We haven't covered the runtime yet. Next one, we're going to talk about supply chain because I want to call out a difference. Sometimes pillars take different decisions because HCM use case might be slightly different than supply chain than CX. So if you have users who already have supply chain administrator role, all you need to do is enable permission group on that role, because whatever was needed is by delivered, supply chain team has coded it into this delivered supply chain administrator role. I do not need to explicitly add a duty. I do not need to explicitly create a custom role. Okay, that's their decision done by supply chain. Whereas, again, I don't want every single person writing agents be an HCM administrator. Fine, you can create your custom group, custom role. And in this case, you need to assign 3 duties to it. With me? Yeah? Okay. So I wanted to call this out because a lot of times you will see pillars, they may ship roles out of the box where AI Agent Studio access is already there. And as a customer, all I need to do is grant myself supply chain administrator role, enable the profile option we talked, run those ESS jobs, enable the permission groups, and I'm in business. No change needed. Whereas HCM may say we are more stricter. By mistake, we don't want this to go out of 1,000 users. So you create a custom role and you assign who all should have access to it. All right, so I'm going to skip procurement. It's pretty similar on those lines. So you should have it with you in the draft. We'll do catch all. What if like this may be applicable for folks in this room? You are working on a multi-pillar deal and you need access to every single agent that's out there, or you're building this excellent agent that goes against HCM and supply chain objects. Totally fine. So in this case, instead of starting with a pillar-specific admin role, we categorize this into 2 topics. If you already have the application implementation consultant role, there is a path for it. If not, if you want to create a custom role from scratch, there is a path for it. Okay. I'll cover the easier one here first, which is application implementation consultant role. So if you have this role, you're going to again enable the permission groups in the custom role. And there are a bunch of duty roles that you need to assign. And now this is a good listing to see what is a pillar specific duty role that Oracle is shipping out of the box. Because for HCM, we said, hey, this was Gen AI HCM administrator duty. For procurement, it says Gen AI procurement administrator duty, Gen AI supply chain administrator duty, Gen AI CX, fill in the blank. So you can include all those duty roles and you can make an admin. Yeah. Now, last but not the least, I don't like any of this. I want to create my own custom role and they should have access to these 3 pillars. I think we can now do that. Explore agent. This is important. That's why I said, we'll let you decide. You want to create an admin role, include this, throw in this role in your admin, move on, or you want to create it separate. It's entirely up to you. But so far, what we have done is we covered how you can build agents, write tools, create business objects, but none of you can test it yet. So in order to do the runtime, test the agent, we need one more thing. So for sure, enable the Redwood options. We all should be on Redwood by now. So let's not get in there. Enable the permission group. And there are 2 things we should be looking at. On the privileges, to access the chat interface, I need access intelligent agent chat. That is a privilege I need access to. So add that on the second trend stop that says function security policies. And then on the role hierarchy in the permission group, I need the Gen AI agent runtime duty. So you need 2 things to be able to start running the agent. This is the minimum access you need to grant to an employee so they can test the agent you have built. Okay. Let's see if I have one more screenshot. Yeah. So if I have that Explorer role, then under me, Agent Studio, I get to look at the agent that I have access to. Another very common question. I'm defining my agent and we saw those multiple tabs. On the last tab, security, my custom role is not showing up. So this tab, any role that has the Gen AI runtime duty, only those roles will show up. Makes sense? So if you have a customer underscore employee role or customer underscore pilot role for this, you got to make sure that custom role has the Explorer access we talked about, especially the FAI Gen AI runtime duty. If it is not there, that role is not going to show up in the LOV.